Welcome to Never Change Productions. You know what I'm saying? You see, we got the mic going crazy right now. We're going to be talking about the win-win mindset and how the traits and qualities of that person, how honorable they are. You feel me? So we're going to get into this podcast. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Show some love and comment your favorite part, your favorite topic. Feel me?
Alright, today's topic is a win-win mindset. The way this mentality works is creating a mutual benefit for everybody that's involved, which means that when you're in an interaction, you got to make sure that you're not the only one reaping the benefits, that everybody that's involved is happy. The reason why is if everybody's happy, you can build a long-lasting relationship. If someone's not happy in a deal or in a situation, you are going to drain that person until they outburst and can't take it anymore. So, for example, 9 times out of 10, we have these relationships that are win-loss or loss-win. What that means is you are the one reaping the benefit and someone is losing. When they are losing, that means you're taking away from them, and at some point they are going to give up or they're going to have an outburst. You don't want that. For another example is, what if you're a loss-win? You are in a situation or interaction, a relationship, and that you give the person your best. You put your best foot forward, and at that relationship, the person is not giving you back anything to what you have invested. So you spent all your resources, all your love, all your time, all your attention, and it ended up being a loss-win situation. This is why people say nice guys finish last, because they have great character. They give, but people take advantage. The females would normally take advantage. That's why they say nice guys finish last. That is a loss-win situation. People that are winning and picking a win-lose mindset, they prey on people that have a lose-win mindset because they don't have the capability to think for themselves. They lack the confidence and the courage to stand up for themselves, and so they avoid conflict by saying yes, and they become a yes man or a yes woman. They do the things that they fear that they have to do to seek approval. So the person that is a win-lose mindset will prey on them, but at some point that won't last for a long period of time. But to seek a win-win mentality, that's what we're going to speak on. Finding a middle ground and finding a mutual benefit for everybody involved. You guys think?
So all right. So let's get into it, right? So the win-lose is basically the winner is kind of manipulating the person and the situation to their own personal benefit without care for the other person. And then the lose-win is you're the nice guy. You're getting taken advantage of. So let's put into perspective. Friendships, right?
Okay.
Friendships. A person who is a lose-win in a friendship, just 2 men or 2 women. Say if they every time they go out, that one person is putting all the money when they go out, they're paying for it, right? That's the lose-win. And another example for the lose-win is let's say, dang. I had it right in my head, no cap. Right. Damn.
So there's a paradigm shift here. So one of the paradigm shift is a lose-lose. So when 2 people are very stubborn and they can't come to a middle ground. So that happens when 2 people are in a conflict and they just cannot agree or stand each other. So that is when 2 masculine individuals are in a conflict.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you speak about the lose-win, that means one person is superior. One person who is losing in that relationship doesn't have the capabilities of seeking authority to say, yo, this is not right. You're taking advantage of me. Mm-hmm. They don't have the mental capacity or the confidence to voice their opinion. And so that person who is winning over them is manipulating the situation and reaping all the benefits.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. So how does one get out of a lose-win?
So we, as humans, we constantly battle between one or the other. The whole point is to find the win-win mindset to be able to create an environment not only just for yourself, but for everyone around you, so that everybody's winning.
Yeah.
This is a lot has to do with your circle of influence. A lot has to do with how you carry yourself, your morals, and your principles. The things that you stand for, the things that you stand on. So one thing can happen is you can have a relationship with a man and a female, and there's a win-loss right there. But then, what about if you're at work? There could be a situation where you're getting underpaid, and you're the one that's losing, but there's other relationship that you're winning in. So you balance it out through different walks of your life. But when you are consciously aware of these aspects of your life and you see that in this area in my relationship, I'm giving more. At work, they taking more from me. In business, I'm winning.
Mhm.
But now you have to just analyze these and be consciously aware of how can I put myself in a better predicament and find a middle ground. And that way, whether you have to confront these individuals or do a no deal breaker and say, yo, this is non-negotiable. These are my expectations. This is what I want. I've been pouring my resources into you for so long. This is clearly not working. If you can't come from a level of understanding or empathy and see my point of view, then this clearly is not a relationship that is beneficial for me, and you have to cut ties with that. That would be the best way to do it because there's no deals involved.
So the problem with that would be some people can't be conscious within that. So let's put into example a man and a woman relationship, right? They're dating, and say they're arguing and they're both losing. They're not conscious of what's going on, and that they could be arguing about who's paying the bills. The guy wants to do 50-50 and the girl don't want to pay for nothing, right? And in that situation, how do you think that could be solved?
Okay, so you have a 50-50. One is paying the majority of the bills, one is not paying the majority of the bills. So same way people do contracts, it would have to be a level of understanding, because why is she not paying any of the bills? Why is it 50-50? What is she bringing to the table? So let me ask you, what would she be bringing to the table for you to be paying the bills?
But that goes in between. That's the relationship. That they have to talk about that within the relationship. It's not about me saying what she's bringing to the table. If they both agree on a certain thing, then that's the way the relationship should be run.
Right.
But they're not conscious of what the what they call it, the reciprocation is, and what each other are giving. So that becomes a problem, and that's why they have issues like later down the line, 6 months down the line, about something like a 50-50
I believe, like, I want to unpack that a little bit. I believe that would be like a lose-lose situation, because since they're both in an agreement, but neither side is happy, because she wants somebody to pay all the bills, but he wants a 50-50 partner. If they're both not conscious that they're bumping heads because of this situation, that would be a lose-lose.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to reverse that and get it to a win-win mindset, they would have to now identify what's the issue, right? He obviously, the man wants a 50-50 relationship. She doesn't. So now he has to figure out, like he asked earlier, okay, is there certain things that she can bring to the relationship that will make him feel that it's worth him, paying more, and she doesn't have to? Because now that might be the issue. Maybe if she does more on the outside of supporting him in his business and his work, take care of things at home, making sure he's straight, bringing him nice ideas or just comforting him, bringing his stress levels down. By her bringing that package, that might be a worthy investment and might make him want to take on more responsibilities. And now that would be a win-win situation for both parties.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm glad you broke it down like that, because the whole point is we want to create an environment that everyone that's in the interaction, everybody that's in the parties or the deal that's happening is happy. So when you are in a workplace and you have a boss that gives you work orders and agendas and tasks, if it's just that, at some point you won't be happy. But what if he comes to you with a level of understanding and say, how can I help you? What can I offer you to make you enjoy this experience a little more? There's a level of understanding there. Mm-hmm. Now this person gives you the ability to give him some insight that may potentially make this workplace more enjoyable. And if you're enjoying the workplace, your productivity level is higher. Mm. Now it's like, yo, this someone cared about me. It's not just a transaction no more. Like, I'm not in this place and this person is treating me less of giving me orders, bossing me around. He actually, cared by asking me what can he offer to make this experience better. So this is a win-win mentality, because what happens is when someone's just winning and someone else is losing, that person becomes resentful. Mm-hmm. That person doesn't. At some point, you're gonna reap the benefits up front, and that's gonna be good. You're satisfied for the moment, but that's temporary. because that's what happens when people leave. People are gonna leave, or they're gonna be ruined, or they're gonna not want that relationship. It won't be a long lasting relationship.
You know what's funny? I have read How to Win Friends and Influence People, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they talked about this mindset. And they talked about it as in how you said the boss and the worker.
Yeah.
And they said that was the old time of how they used to treat workers and how the businesses used to operate. In the new modern day, it's the boss, your partner. He's still working for you, but you treat him like a partner. And there's a different level of respect when you talk to him and go about your day. And I say that to say this: when I'm in the Airbnb and a guest is having a trouble, I treat the situation with empathy, and I don't take from them. So if they had a bad experience or something happened, and I look at it from my point of views, and I treat it like, how can I help them? How can I make it a better state for them? And I look at it like that. And the How to Win Friends and Influence People, man, that was a great. They definitely talked about that in depth too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really how you want to approach anything, because if you come from just your level of understanding, like, you won't ever know what someone's going through. You never walked in their shoes. You don't know what ticked them off. You don't know what excites them. So if you just expect your expectations, you're gonna put pressure on those that can't handle the pressure. You feel me? Luke?
Yeah, so you end up kind of, in a sense, you become selfish, because if you're constantly just thinking about your end goal and what you can take from this situation, you're constantly taking, like you said, this person is building resentment, they're getting drained, and they end up leaving your company. And as a business owner or something, if you just built more of a partnership and treated it like a relationship in a way, now you're looking at the longevity of the business. Instead of me working with someone who might end up leaving the company in a month or two, I have a year or two relationship that I'm building, and this person might grow and be able to help me down the line. And now that's like building network. So I like that, how you brought up, being empathetic and having understanding. I think when you start there, that's like a key to a win-win mindset to any situation.
Yeah, and that's why I said, like, you are your neighbor, man. That's the topic. You are your neighbor, and it's a reason for that. There's a Bible verse, but it was like treat your neighbor as you would yourself, or something like do unto others as you would have done unto you.
Yeah,
and it's very important, and that's why I say you are your neighbor, because if you treat someone or someone next to you as if that was you, you would be kinder. You would treat them with respect. You would actually listen to what they say, because you're saying, this is me.
Yeah. No, 100%. It comes from a level of integrity. It comes from a level of respect, because you got to remember, if you approach yourself with a level of integrity, that means you would hold not just yourself to this standard, but you would treat others with that love and kindness and respect. Because now it's like, if I do this to this person, I would be hurting my spirit. I would be hurting myself.
Yep.
Because I wouldn't feel good that I allow myself to be the reason why this person is in a dark state of mind. Like, being aggressive to someone and then seeing how it ruins them. Mm-hmm. There's a level of integrity there. There's a level of respect there. That means, you're hurting someone. It's just like bullying. Like, people bully people to feel better about themselves, or they've been through a situation that, like, they've been in a dark space at one time, and now they feel like, to validate themselves, they could do it onto someone who is they feel they're superior on. This is the same thing. Like, you're running away from something. There's some scarcity there. There's fear there. Mm-hmm. But we prey on those that are weaker for a reason. But once you love yourself and you understand yourself, and like Lou said earlier, with a level of empathy there, you can love your neighbor, because you understand that it's bigger than how I feel, that I shouldn't, react to someone with anger or animosity or jealousy or all this evilness that can consume a person. Where now it's like, how can I help you, brother? How can we get, to the next level?
Yeah. So with the win-win mindset, right?
Yeah.
It also correlates with having of abundance.
Yeah.
Right. So when you think about it, if you're thinking longevity, like, sometimes people get stuck in the win-lose mindset because they're temporary winning, because sometimes you feel like, if I give this person too much or help too much, they're going to take away from my opportunity. But someone with an abundant mentality, they're going to know that, there's more out here for everyone.
Yeah.
There's endless opportunities to grow and building and nurturing this relationship. So like these are some of the main benefits of like structuring your mind to more of a win-win and just thinking more outside of the box and not getting stuck in the moment and just being selfish and catering to yourself.
Right. So
I like that example. I was gonna say if you could like give us some real life situations with that living in abundance. I love how you broke that down.
I would say I could break down like a business perspective in a personal experience. I would say starting in my in the transportation business, right? So you start up and you know you have opportunities under your own business and your authority. You can lease on other partnerships. Basically, other people can bring on their equipment and their trucks and work with your company, right? And now by you being the owner and having the authority, you can decide how much percentages that you can take away from this person because everything goes through you and then they get paid because they're getting contracted to work through your company. Yeah. So now if you're thinking of more of a win-lose mindset, you might charge them a higher percentage and make more money now. And you're trying to, hey, I don't want this person to take away from my contracts or know too much about the business. I want to keep them small scale so they don't grow. And I'm going to just keep making the money, right? But if you think bigger scale, hey, how can I help this person build up his business bigger, right? Maybe if I teach him more and open up to more contracts and keep him at a percentage where I make money and he's also satisfied, now by him growing, he can add value to the company as a whole. Mm-hmm. So now instead of you just making money off this one person, he can essentially become a long-term partner and either bring more value with contracts and more equipment. So that's something that I tried doing. And when I met in the middle, my partner ended up bringing more value, bringing in more drivers, bringing more capital to reinvest and bringing more bigger people to expand the team. So like, that's just an abundance mentality of not just thinking of yourself in the moment.
Yeah. And think about your like reputation too. Like you don't want to have a business partner 10 years ago and you treated him poorly and he come back and talk to a new investor you trying to talk to and like, yo, and say, oh, he wasn't respectful. He had no integrity. He didn't know how to manage the contract. And now you just got that bad.
Got that bad reputation hanging over your head. And you know, I know y'all all know that saying, you got to treat the janitor the same way you treat the CEO. That goes a long way with anything in life. You want to treat everybody with like respect. You know, respect is big. So as long as you never know what position this person you're speaking to today might be in tomorrow, you might need them tomorrow, next year, 10 years from now, you never know. So you just want to just approach life with respect, and that keeps you in more of a win-win situation.
Yeah. Oftentimes I see a lot of people in our day-to-day, in their reality, they always say, I've done too much for this person. I never got anything back. Have you guys ever experienced that?
Yeah, I experienced that. So like, all right, so let's say in a sense, right? That would you say that's a win-lose or lose-win?
That's a lose-win.
You would say that's a lose-win? Because
they're saying I've done a lot for this person.
But they're doing it for the wrong reasons. If they're saying it, they don't have no empathy or love for what they're doing and how they're communicating with the person.
Well, I wouldn't say they don't have empathy or love because they are giving, they are doing their part, and I guess the agreement are not being met because they poured into someone where they gave a friend some resources to get their life together.
Yeah.
And that was a failed investment, right? And the person, you know, fell into drugs and they don't have money. They didn't give them a place to stay, and that person's still not getting together.
Then that would be
these are traditional things that people have invested in throughout time and have never received the benefits, and they've given more than they ever received. And I see a lot of times in reality, people are always complaining and they're upset that they've done something for someone.
And it's a lose-lose.
And they didn't get nothing.
It's a lose-lose.
It's a lose-lose.
I think it comes down with the people around you. Like you said, your circle of influence can affect win-win, lose-win situations. So I think that comes with like sticking around people that only drain you.
Yeah.
That's all they do. They only come to take you. They're always, hey, can I borrow $50, $100? They tell you that they're gonna start doing this, but they never hold their end of the bargain. Mm-hmm. And you're constantly like double back and turning around and trying to lift them up and carry them on your shoulder and bring them with you. I think that's like 100% like a lose-lose.
No, yeah, because what happens is actually In the beginning of the year, one of the New Year's resolution for the majority of the people that was at the church, they were saying, I'm gonna love myself more this year. I don't want to give. I love too much. I care too much. I give too much. Like, I want to take care of myself this year. I'm gonna make self-care, self-love a priority.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like a lot of people fall victim to giving. And I think, like you said, they might have been given for the wrong reasons.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there is some sincerity in that. There is some level of love and trust and integrity in that. I just think they might have gave it to the wrong person. But I still think that a lot of that is common in our day-to-day our life right now.
Most definitely.
I agree.
Most definitely.
So what would we be able to tell that person from our podcast to help them break free from all of that?
I would say first thing is identify like the relationship. So once you understand, like, okay, all right, what kind of value does this friendship bring to me, right? Once you figure out what that is, whether this person motivates you and work or bring you joy and happiness, and they fulfill you in some kind of way that kind of helps you with your growth. And once you realize that, if they're not, hitting any of these corners, now you got to realize, all right, I have to like love them from a distance, because now it's like, if you continue to keep giving and this person, the value that they're returning is not helping you, you're taking away from yourself. Now that's a lose-lose situation. I would say now an advice I would give someone that find themselves in situations like that is by saying, when you said New Year's resolution, you focus on yourself. So, you just focus on building yourself up more. So now you'll get yourself to a point where when you do want to help, it's not taking too much out of yourselves. Because sometimes we find ourselves trying to help without pouring into ourselves first. If you don't pour into your cup, what are you going to put into somebody else's? You're going to empty yourself out. Yeah. So just take time away, love from a distance. Sometimes you don't need to completely cut somebody off, but you distance yourself and you rebuild.
Yeah, for me, I would say to that person that's giving to that person, and it's a lose-lose, I would say they have to become a better investor. And we're not talking about money. We're talking about investing into the people that you love. You have to become a better investor. And when we invest, we have to, in the stock market or in the crypto market, we have to actually look at what we're investing in. So we have to now see, what is this crypto for? Mm-hmm. What is this stock? What is this company doing?
Right.
So in that way, we have to look at the person that we're investing. Like, is their mind right? Are they truly who they say they are? Do they hold their word to what they're going to do? And I say that is, we have to better vet out the people that we're going to invest in, because investing into someone is taking it away from us. And that shit is going to drain us. So becoming a better investor is definitely a key.
So in hindsight, another paradigm shift we're looking at is, if you do seek to get a win-win reality or a win-win situation and it doesn't work out, your best outcome, your best solution is to do a no deal, right? You don't have to choose to lose anymore. You don't have to choose to win. Just cut ties and say no deal. Like you're signing a contract, guys. No deal. How about that?
I didn't think about that.
If you can't find the middle ground, if you can't make it a mutual benefit and you're not getting anything out of it, I think we should say no deal.
Yeah. So you just cut ties.
Cut ties.
That's more. You got to do that, but that's in the same way. Relationships are like that. The female get cheated on. She stays in a relationship. She don't want to break the contract. She don't want to break it, so she stays in a relationship in a lose-win. So, yeah.
You brought us some interesting point. I ain't gonna lie.
No, she didn't want to say no deal.
You got to unpack that a little more.
Yeah. Go ahead. Break that down a little bit.
All right, we'll break it down. All right. So the female, right? Yeah. I believe the female chooses the man.
Yeah.
Although the man has an option to accept, the relationship, the female is the one that chooses. Okay. Majority of the time. So she's the one that already vet out the man for the relationship. She said she already looked at him. Oh, he looks good. Oh, he got a job. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, but she may not have the capabilities to understand the flaws that is in with the relationship. So she may become blindsided, or her conscience may not just be up there to vet out the person. During the relationship, she could be what is the word? Overlooking the flaws, overlooking what she's already seen, and she's staying within that deal. That's like a person who bought a house and they see that in the neighborhood is going downhill and the value of the property is going down. But you're saying, oh no, it's gonna turn around. It's gonna turn around, it's gonna be good. That in that way the girl is staying in the relationship even though she sees that it's going down, and he cheated and she stays within that. You know, you could in a way you could say she's loyal.
Yeah.
In a way you could say she's loyal, but she's at a loss. Feel me?
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that falls in the loss win situation. But yeah, you can still seek a win-win outcome. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
So I feel like yes, she did choose the guy. Yes, it didn't work out. The investment is going down the hill, right? But I think if she does seek a win-win, that could be a given a one more chance, right? Given some boundaries, or creating a new contract for that relationship. And I think then that is her attempt to find mutual grounds. That is her attempt to find mutual benefits. That is her attempt.
But there's something in between there.
Yeah.
There's something in between there, because she has to go back to the guy that cheated on her, and she has to now lay out what's gonna happen. And now if he breaks it again, they gotta be done. She can't just go back into the relationship and say, I forgive you. Nah, we can't do this again.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I hear you.
I agree with you.
You're very logical.
Yeah, so like what I was saying is like, you can turn it to a win-win opportunity. So like he said, when she presents that, hey, we got to do some inner work. We're going to rebuild the trust. I need this from you. They do some therapy together. They work it out and they build it up. As long as her partner opens up and takes accountability and works with her, that becomes a win-win
Most
now
definitely.
situation.
Yeah.
It can start off as a lose-win, but her taking initiative and him taking accountability changes the whole paradigm to the situation.
Yeah.
So now, but like you said, if he doesn't take accountability and he's stuck in his ways and she still holds her resentment and just doesn't really fully express herself and just traps herself in this situation, that becomes a lose-win situation.
Yeah, that's facts. I agree.
So, but there is always a way out, which is the no deal.
No deal. So, yeah. So she has the choice to say, you know what? This is not working for me. This is not the situation I need to be in. This is draining me. I just need to cut ties and rebuild.
Yeah.
So, fellas, let's talk about who needs this mindset, this mentality that we're talking about right now. Who needs it?
Everyone.
Yeah, I would say
everyone needs this mindset. I feel like everybody walking around with a win-win mentality and use that on a day-to-day basis, whether it's business, your relationship, or just in life in general, you're gonna attract a lot of abundance. Because now, like you said, you're seeking understanding, and you're looking at how can I help this person and still get what I want.
So we start off dependent. Our parents, we as a toddler, you're a baby, they took care of us, and then as you get older, you go on to this world, and you have to do things on your own. You have to get a job, you have to get a house, you have to start your own life. So you become independent. So when we become independent, then we have to transform that to interdependent, because now we have to learn to work with other people. So once you become independent, you then have to become interdependent. And interdependent is the mutual benefit of working well with others. I think that's a strong gift. That's a strong skill set. That's an important skill set. You have to realize that it's not about you, but yes, you are the most important person in your reality, and you need to work on yourself. This is what the being independent teaches you. But now, being independent teaches you a lot of self-worth, a lot of self-value. Being interdependent teaches you to work well with others, to have empathy, understanding, integrity, trust, abundance. That's how you build a long-lasting relationship.
I like that.
One thing you said is communicating. I think when you have that win-win mindset, you have to learn to communicate and to communicate effectively to get your message out. And communication is not taught. Communication is everywhere, but we lack it. And it's not in schools. We have to learn it on our own. We have to learn how to talk to people. Some people naturally have this gift, but it's lacking. That's why people can be in arguments and they just lash out fighting. There's no resolvement because they don't know how to communicate with each other. And with that win-win mindset, you learn to communicate. You learn to have integrity and trust within how you communicate and how you carry yourself. So I think that's very important.
Yeah, you definitely have to listen. You have to learn to listen because you know, like in arguments, when you're going back and forth, you're only hearing yourself louder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So because people just, when we arguing, right, a lot of times we just kind of just speak only to respond, right? We're listening to respond, but not really listening to understand.
Yeah.
And then when you was breaking it down, so you would say developing that win-win mindset is first starting off with being independent, right?
Right.
And once you become independent, you build yourself up. Now you learn to be interdependent.
Yeah.
And then you said now you have a level of understanding and empathy, and then learning how to communicate effectively. Right? So these are the things that we want to keep in mind when we want to have a win-win mindset and attract abundance in our life.
Yeah, one of the things I do is, and you know, I love talking. Love talking about topics and word definitions, and I love talking about it to different people.
Yeah.
And it's not an argument when I'm talking to them; it's a conversation. And I say, like, anytime I'm having a conversation where it's about two different sides of the story, the other person may always think it's an argument, but the way I'm communicating it is like a conversation. I don't never want to argue with nobody because that's when emotions are involved. That's what an argument is. Argue.
Yo,
you know what I'm saying?
I find myself in that position a lot.
I love that.
You bring up two topics and you kind of like just trying to see their perspective on it, but then they end up arguing with you about it. And you're like, yo, I'm just trying to see your point of view. I'm not really trying to argue with you. I just wanted to present this to you to see how you felt about it.
Yeah, bro.
You know why that happens?
Why?
Because their thoughts, people get attached to their thoughts and their opinions. They form a relationship with them. Like it's a sense of identity. So when it gets like that, it's because they're connected to the topic. So when they start to get a little louder, try to prove a point, their thoughts are more connected to the information. So it's like now it's personal.
Yeah, so they try to convince you to believe what they believe in and how they see it, right?
Right, but I think if you take a unbiased stance on that topic or on the communication, you'll never be so connected to the opinion or the thought, so it will never be personal. But if you ask someone a controversial, like for example, a trans man about certain things, you know, even though you're just trying to see a different point of view, those thoughts are connected to his reality or her reality. So you're, in a way, kind of offending the person. And so that's when you would see, like, even though you're trying to find some response to a good question that you asked, it's no longer a debate or no longer a topic of discussion. It's more personal now because they're going to feel attacked. And I think that's what happens when we just hear a question. We connect our thoughts and our opinions to it first, when we need to just take it with a grain of salt and have an unbiased opinion first and see the other side of you from that. What would the left think? What would the right think? What would someone else other than me think? What's the nature of this question you just asked me? Before I start to say I feel or I think, what's the nature of what you're asking me?
Oh, I really like that. That's good. I like that.
Great way to communicate.
Nice.
Yeah. Yo, man, we breaking down some good stuff right here, man. We got into a high level mindset right now. We talking good stuff right now.
Yeah, man. How to win, man. You know, track abundance. You know, building in your life, business, and relationship, man. It's real good.
Thanks, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. This was a great ass episode, right? Man, y'all like, subscribe, and y'all stay tuned for the bell? Hit the bell, man.
All right.
Yeah, God bless, bro.
Little Sauce, and we out, man. Never Change Podcast. I got my Limitless cap on. You know, I know somewhere in the bio, y'all see the link, man. Tune in, support, man.